Notre Dame won the regular season meeting between these two teams. NC State has not lost since. Wolfpack felt like they missed a lot of open looks in that game, but very conscious as well of trying to keep Maya Dodson not quite as active on the interior as she was in that contest.
NC State starting out in man-to-man defense. Key for them defensively is to limit dribble penetration, especially by Olivia Miles.
Here's Mabry on the attack, committed to the air, and got the roll. Notre Dame on the board first. Here in this Sweet 16 matchup, taking a look at our Capital One starting lineups for NC State. So much experience. Reyna Perez, Kai Crutchfield, Jakia Brown-Turner, Kayla Jones, and Elisa Canane. As Perez can't rattle in a three. A nice job by Citron to guide the rebound over to her teammate. Miles and Sonia Citron, such an impressive freshman duo.
What a great save by Olivia Miles. She got that by inches.
And a little out of control, lost it. Nice footwork by Crutchfield to stay in bounds off the steal. Dodson working against Canane in the post. Brown-Turner gets it to Canane. Blocked from behind, another chance, can't finish it. Good D on the interior from the Fighting Irish.
Those are the shots that Elisa Canane and NC State are going to need to make in this game.
You see Notre Dame starting five with Citron and Miles, the two freshmen, joining Mabry, Westbeld, and then Maya Dodson, who is awaiting to see if she may have one more season of eligibility at Notre Dame. Otherwise, she would be the only player leaving the program at the end of this run.
Great high hands by Kayla Jones to disrupt the pass that would have been to an open player inside.
Here is Jones. Spinning, dishing, Crutchfield. Plenty of time to operate. Will pull up. Doesn't get the roll, but does get the whistle. And Kai Crutchfield will go to the line. The LIV, in just her second season at the helm, has done such a fantastic job turning this program around quickly and taking it right back to where it's been for decades under Muffin McGraw. Last year, just 10-10. This season, a very live team in the Sweet 16. And Wes Moore in his 9th season at NC State. His team in a 4th straight Sweet 16, 0-3 in the previous 3 appearances. NC State has not been to the Elite Eight since 1998. They are 1-13 all time in this round. Here's Miles, carving through, couldn't whip it in. And Canane, outstanding one-handed rebound.
And good job getting a body on Dodson. Dodson was terrific on the offensive glass in their previous meeting.
Oh, nice find from Perez, and Brown-Turner lays it in. NC State riding a 12-game winning streak. You see Brown-Turner averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds in the tournament thus far. Miles, pull-up jumper, rolls in for Olivia Miles.
Notre Dame was working on that yesterday in their practice, understanding that NC State was going to go behind the screens, knowing that the pull-up jumper would be there for the guards.
Miles in the Final 5 for the Nancy Lieberman Award for the best point guard in the nation. Miles hits the deck there. Crutchfield can't finish it. Mabry the rebound.
We've seen Notre Dame defensively play both man and zone, switching it up, trying to keep NC State off balance.
Mabry creating space for the little jumper.
You calling her little or the jumper little?
Just the jumper. Jones, no. Rebound saved by Citron. Here's Miles shoveling. Westbell doesn't get the roll, and Canane another rebound. Kayla Jones was hurt in the first round of the tournament last season, which really altered things for NC State. Wes Moore calls her the glue of this team, trying to go one-on-one on the interior here and couldn't finish around Westbell. Mabry gives it up. Citron on the attack, up, under, and off, but gets the whistle. And the freshman, Sonia Citron, will shoot 2.
Notre Dame's guards are dangerous because they can create their own shots, and there's no better way to create space than with the step back. Check out the distance, 4 inches. That's all the space she needs. Oh, 4 feet. That's the space she needs to get her shot up.
First foul on Kayla Jones as Citron misses the first free throw. We were talking to Niele Ivey about Sonia, and she said she may be the most unselfish player I have ever been around. Talked about how smooth the freshman's game is, how versatile she is. Citron, the ACC Rookie of the Year. 7-3 Notre Dame lead, and before the shot we have a whistle. And it's going to be a foul against Mabry. That'll be her first. Crutchfield was wide open on the wing. Perez got it to her late. Here's Canane, one-on-one. Now the double comes, trying to find space, able to squeeze it in.
NC State has to look for that. They have to look to get the ball into Canane because she can score, but she can also pass when the double team comes. A little bit more patience offensively there by the Wolfpack.
Dodson can't finish it. Good D from Canane. Perez wiggles between defenders. Here's Brown Turner trying to take the freshman off one leg and finish it.
That's a tough shot. Citron played pretty good defense on that possession.
4 straight points from NC State, tied at 7, a trip to the Elite 8 on the line. Mabry, no. Wrong rebound to Kayla Jones. As Holly talked about, Dara Mabry coming off 7 threes in the second round against Oklahoma. Perez can't hit. Jones whacks it out of bounds. It's going to stay here with NC State. Last deflected by Notre Dame.
Olivia Miles coming off with a little jumper. We know that is going to be true. And then for NC State, they're looking to establish their post game. Canane with a step through.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Champion, giving women the confidence to play by their own rules. Well, reactions from Notre Dame after their big victory over NC State back in February, and yeah, they were partying in that locker room. Niele Ivey getting into it, and just a wonderful scene after a big win from the Fighting Irish. As we check out our game track brought to you by Adidas, you see the stats from that contest. Huge game from Maya Dodson, who dives on the floor here. We also saw Notre Dame so keen the second chance points. And Rebecca, when we talked to the NC State players, they really pointed out the emphasis of keeping Notre Dame off the offensive glass in this contest.
And particularly Maya Dodson, she had 7 of those offensive boards.
Canane, guarded by Dodson, one-on-one. Canane goes up, in, plus the foul.
Great patience. Great patience by Canane. She got the ball, waited to see if the double team was going to come, and it doesn't. So then she makes her move. Patience, nothing's coming, what do I got? And then goes right at Dodson to get the foul called.
It was interesting, Rebecca, talking with Elisa yesterday and her saying she has to be better about when she's one-on-one shooting, being in that attack mode. So far today, when Notre Dame hasn't helped, she's insisted on getting to the hoop.
Yes, she
A
has.
7-0 NC State run to jump in front. Miles connects on a 3. The poised freshman Olivia Miles.
How about her patience as well? Defender hedges out, hard hedge, and before the guard can recover, Miles takes the opportunity to shoot.
Crutchfield trying to get it into Canane, somehow was able to, and the foul is called against Notre Dame.
Rebecca, I just love the composure of Olivia Miles. Just a hesitation, looking for her teammates, but still getting her shot. You mentioned it earlier, when the defense goes under the ball screens, she has the freedom to shoot, and she's taking advantage of it.
And that is a huge foul against Maya Dodson, her second personal, so she goes to the bench for Notre Dame as they send in Anaya Peoples. That one's going to deflect into the arms of Crutchfield. Another chance here for NC State. Diamond Johnson in off the bench. She can score in a hurry and in bunches. Brown Turner, little trouble with Citron. Shot clock down to 7. Johnson gets rejected. Peoples and Citron were there. Nice defensive stand there from the Irish. Peoples stops on a dime, can't flip it in, and Jones hauls in the rebound. 10-10 first quarter action, this Sweet 16 matchup. Johnson, great delivery. Brown Turner can't knock down the 3. Citron has it taken away by Johnson. Jones gets it to go on the second opportunity there for NC State.
NC State had one of those exact same plays in their second round game against K-State. Just coming in, you don't see me, I'm gonna take the ball right out of your hands. The benefits of being small.
NC State, a #1 seed for the second straight year. Last year was the first time in program history. And another turnover here from Notre Dame. Here is Johnson, weaving around Miles, right to the cup for 2. Miles already with 1 personal. An 11-3 run for NC State over the last 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Peoples getting extended run here with Dodson on the bench with those 2 fouls. Miles will pull. Can't hit. Rebound. Fought for. Won by Brunel. Westbeld short on a 3. And the rebound to Canane. 4 boards already for Elisa Canane. Johnson left alone. Short. Notre Dame controls.
Notre Dame is so dangerous when they're out in transition. It's a win for NC State if they make them set up and take some time off the clock.
Westbeld trying to find space. Couldn't slip it in with the left hand. Here's NC State pushing.
And to follow up on your point, Rebecca, Niele Ivey in the last huddle asking her team to run, to run. If you run, we will find offense.
Canane can't finish it. Let's see if Notre Dame runs here, huh? Citron, a little hesitation, then some explosion. But again, NC State able to get back and get set up. Miles on the attack, cups it in.
Notre Dame's getting pretty decent lanes to the basket. That one they were able to convert, but there was a stretch NC State was scoring, and then of course Notre Dame can't run because NC State can get back in their date.
Wow, Brown Turner just beating Citron off the dribble. Jakia Brown Turner is 4 of 5 from the floor in this opening quarter. She has 8 points. About a 16-second difference, game and shot clock. Miles giving it up. Westbeld giving it back. Brunel, ball fake and a travel as Notre Dame turns it over. 5th turnover of the quarter for the Fighting Irish.
We saw Miles with the mid-range game, the 3, and here just taking it inside, the little flip-up finish on the drive. She is so cool and composed out there, especially for a freshman.
She makes the goggles work too, right? She said it's part of her look, doesn't want to go to contacts because it's part of her identity now on the court. No need to change. Only she and Caitlin Clark averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists this season as Notre Dame comes up with a steal. Mabry gets it off, but it is not on target, and that'll do it for the first quarter. NC State a 4-point lead at the end of 1. Holly's going to talk to Niele when we come back. Second quarter action next. Started the second quarter moments ago. Holly Rowe caught up with Notre Dame head coach Niele Ivey.
Well, Coach Ivey, you keep telling your team in the huddle to run. How can transition help you right now?
Well, I think that's our brand of basketball. Monday night we scored about 40 points in transition. Right now I think we're surveying, and we need to go. So we got to outlet and got to get stops and outlet and run.
All right, Jakia Brown-Turner, that matchup's causing you problems defensively. What do you change?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to throw some new bodies on her. She's a great driver, so we have to really rely on our help side. We got to lock up one-on-one, but we got to rely on our help side. Right now it's not there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at our thrilling drives brought to you by Nissan. Niele quite literally had a thrilling drive yesterday. She went to Philadelphia after practicing with her team to go watch her son, Jaden, and Purdue take on St. Peter's, a thriller. You can see Mom certainly into the action. Her son, Jaden, just missing a look at the buzzer that would have tied the game, but St. Peter's continued to the Elite Eight, and it's been quite a ride for Niele, Holly.
Yeah, she's been juggling that life with Jaden since he was a little boy. He's been around this program his entire life. We remember him running out onto the court when Enrique Agumbawale hit those shots to win the national championship, and here he is having his own March Madness moment. She does say it is gut-wrenching to watch him. She said, my heart is out on that floor. It's very difficult for her, and she said, I gave him a big hug after they lost last night, and he's flown home with the team to Purdue.
Well, and Rebecca, that's at any age, right? That's youth ball.
It could be a rec league game. As a parent, you sit there and your stomach is in knots all day long.
Nice bucket from Peoples to start the second quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup. Remember, Maya Dotson on the bench right now for Notre Dame with 2 fouls. Shot clock down to 3. Brown-Turner has it stripped. Good hands. Dara Mabry trying to bust it to the cup. She does to tie this game at 16.
Good job by Notre Dame defensively in a 2-3 zone that time. Active, taking away the inside. Active hands by Mabry.
Mabry now with 6 points. Jada Boyd in off the bench for NC State. Goes cross court. Brown-Turner off the mark on a 3. Boyd the offensive rebound and the putback. Jada Boyd, such a key piece off the bench for the Wolfpack.
2 great plays by Boyd to find that weak side out pass against the zone and then to get in there to get the offensive board.
Averaging 8.5 points, 6 rebounds off the bench thus far in this tournament. Prohaska in, great delivery to Peoples. What a pass from Abby Prohaska off the bench for the Irish.
Peoples got good position, but good position doesn't matter if you don't have a player who can deliver the basketball to you.
Spoken like a frustrated post. 2 assists on the first couple of possessions of the quarter for Notre Dame after they had none in the first quarter. They did have 5 turnovers. Good hands, Westbeld knocks it out of bounds, and 5 on the shot clock.
In the 2-3 zone, you have to have active hands up top, and Mabry is able to do that. Deflects the ball, taking it the other way where Notre Dame is so good. Get out in transition and score. And then right there. You just got to get it to the right hand. If you send it to the wrong side, it's a turnover. And all the posting work goes for naught.
Boyd, baseline jumper is good. Jada Boyd, who Wes Moore has told us is the X factor for our team, delivering thus far in this second. Mabry, look out!
How do you leave her? How do you leave her?
9 points for Dara Mabry, her sister Michaela an assistant. Marina playing overseas, having a very effective start to her WNBA career. Westbeld collects the rebound, pushing for Notre Dame. Good start to this second quarter for the Irish. Westbeld on a triple.
Transition offense.
Since the start of the ACC tournament, Westbeld has been on a tear, averaging 15.5 points on 58% shooting. Was first team all-conference a season ago. Out of bounds off of Camille Hobby, and now Kanane and Reina Perez going to come back in for Wes Moore.
Distance matters, Ryan. What are we settling in at? 7 feet away. Dara Mabry, man, you cannot be that far because she will drain the shot, and then Westbeld stepping into the trailer 3.
This is a Notre Dame team that can fill it up from deep. They've started the second quarter 5 of 5 from the floor after they were 5 for 14 in the first. Mabry looking for space, lost the handle. Perez has it. The get ahead in traffic, and a foul called against Notre Dame as Prohaska and Peoples were there.
And after that run by Notre Dame, Canaan back on the floor. That was a difference. She's just such an imposing presence inside that you have to send multiple defenders to, even if she doesn't have the basketball.
Foul called against Prohaska, her first. A trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Winner will face the winner of UConn and Indiana, who will play following this game here on ESPN. Canaan battling with Westbeld underneath. In the corner, Johnson can't get it to go. Follows it up with an offensive rebound. Another chance here for the Wolfpack.
You got to fake away and then give the ball inside to Canaan.
Johnson gets another look. That one she hits.
One thing you know, she's not going to stop shooting. If she misses, she's not going to stop shooting. That's what she's in for. That's her job. She's a scorer.
Well, she was 6 for 23 the first meeting between these teams. A game in which Canaan got just 5 field goal attempts as Miles hits another. A little bunny hop, willing it in, and 10 points for Olivia Miles, and smiles from the Notre Dame bench.
Smiles for Miles.
Ooh, all right, nice. You know, this is our first broadcast of the tournament. You're already breaking out the rhymes, huh? Westbeld knocks it away. Miles has it taken away by Johnson.
How about the energy plays by Johnson? Smallest player on the floor. Yeah, offensive boards.
Westbeld comes up with a steal. Notre Dame is 6 for 6 in the quarter. Mabry gives it up. Great look. Peoples, patience, bucket.
Over and over again yesterday, Notre Dame worked on how they were going to attack when NC State went under the screens, and they're doing such a good job of it here in the first half.
6-point Notre Dame lead. They trailed 16-12 at the end of the first. Johnson dishes out. Perez wide open on a 3. Those two can play very well together. Both capable of playing on or off the ball as Miles spins it in. How about the freshman Olivia Miles?
It's like she was holding it out there. See this basketball? I'm going to score this basketball. It was a children's book.
It's funny because Niele Ivey afterwards was in fact holding her arm out to pantomime the move. Perez, not that time. Citron off and running. Oh, Citron, what a move. And Crutchfield called for the foul. She'll shoot 2. Citron will when we get back.
Let me show you the basketball. Let me show you what I'm going to do with the basketball, Olivia Miles.
Rebecca, Drea, and Holly.
All right, Elle, thank you very much. How about this second quarter for Notre Dame thus far? 20 points now. 8 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 3 from 3. Did you like how we actually got to see the points change live there, too?
That's pretty impressive.
That's next level.
I mean, that's the pace Notre Dame wants to play. They want to push, score in their transition or in their secondary, play downhill.
Let's get a little on NC State's most recent huddle from Holly.
Guys, they want to make a change defensively and pay more attention to Olivia Miles. He kept talking about number 5 is hurting us, communicate more. They also want to get the ball into Canaan a little bit more, not fall in love with that 3. Look for her on the lob, and there it is right there.
Yeah, Holly on cue. Canaan, the footwork, can't finish it, did not get the whistle. Remember, NC State was leading 16-12 at the end of the first quarter. Notre Dame has just brought it offensively here in the second.
The reason NC State wants to get it into Canaan, they are 3 of 18 outside of the paint. 8 of 12 now inside the paint.
Wow. Impressed with that math and the stat. Miles, another 3. She is feeling it. A swaggy back pedal to the defensive end for Olivia Miles, who has 15 in the first half.
What a delight she is to watch.
Out of bounds off Notre Dame, going to stay here with NC State.
Olivia Miles, how you feeling about your offense right now? All right, so the defense goes over the screen, but then gets caught up on her own player.
Another three. Jones with that awkward release, can't get it to go. Here's Miles pushing pace. Miles, confidence in her gait. Miles, step back three, not that time. Airballs it out of bounds. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Elite 8 begins tonight with coverage beginning at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on TBS. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Now keep in mind, Notre Dame is doing this right now with Maya Dotson on the bench for an extended period of time after picking up her second personal. This foul, I believe, is going to go against Prohaska, and it will be her second.
Yeah, she was getting physical with Kanane.
Now Peoples will check back in for Prohaska. I mean, how about that Niele Ivey is perhaps going to be able to go this entire second quarter with Dotson on the bench.
And it not hurting him.
Exactly. And Dotson was the key piece in the first meeting between these teams. A 3-point Notre Dame win back in early February. Kanane, what a move. She's been effective thus far in this first half when she gets touches.
Yeah, you just got to keep finding a way to get her a touch inside. She will make the right decision.
Kanane with 7 points. NC State a +4 in the paint. Citron. Nearly lost it. Throws it away. Good D from Crutchfield and Perez. Johnson dishing. Kanane the easy lay.
I love it. You know I love it when the big girl runs the floor. Kanane, that's just hard work.
9 points for Elisa Kanane. Peoples looking inside to Westbell. Trying to seek an angle. Didn't have it. Good D from Kanane. Jones pushing pace. NC State with a little rhythm now. Johnson penetrates, scoops, can't finish. And Peoples the rebound.
That's where you got to recognize your team's a little tired, and it's time to take some time off the clock on the offensive end.
Oh, what a dish. Miles to Westbell for the finish.
Underhand softball pitch.
Olivia Miles is in her bag. But a 16-second difference game in shot clock as that's thrown away out of bounds. And Notre Dame can just about hold for a final shot here.
We see Miles do this a lot, just playing with the defense and flicks the underhand delivery to Westbell.
Miles with a cool 15 points here.
With a cool everything.
In this Sweet 16 matchup. Winner will face the winner of UConn, Indiana. That game tips at 2 here on ESPN. Citron, Brown Turner fell, thwarted the path of Citron. And that will be just the second team foul against NC State.
Overall, a really cleanly played game in terms of fouls, other than Dotson.
That's right. Here's Miles, flagging it down. 7 seconds left in the half. Miles, waiting. Miles. Will she get it off? She barely does, and that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. Notre Dame outscores NC State 26-14 in the second. And it's the Fighting Irish who have an 8-point lead at the half over 1 seed NC State. Let's head over to Holly now with Olivia Miles.
Olivia, this is your first Sweet 16, but what allowed you to get so comfortable so early?
Yeah, they were going under the screens. I felt like I was just, reading the ball screen. I was going under, I was shooting my threes, I was hitting them, so I just stayed confident.
Yeah, you're getting your points, but you're doing a great job distributing. How are you keeping your teammates involved?
Yeah, since I'm scoring, it's drawing attention, and then I just, dump it to Maddie, Dara. I'm just making reads again, looking for my teammates.
Thank you.
Well, it has been an incredible run thus far in the NCAA tournament for Olivia Miles. It's continuing here in the Sweet 16. 15 points in the first half for the freshman. Time to head to Elle Duncan and the crew in the studio for halftime. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Getting ready to start the second half of this Sweet 16 matchup. Notre Dame, a 38-30 lead over one-seed NC State as we get ready to start the third quarter. What a first half for the freshman Olivia Miles. For more on that, let's check in with Andrea Carter.
That's right, Ryan. What a first half and what a way to read the defense. Olivia Miles is a perfect example of how to read defense and having a feel for the game. Look, if a defender goes under 2 players, that is an automatic pull if you are Olivia Miles. Smooth jump shot. And then it's not for lack of effort on NC State. Look, there's a little bit of fight going through 2. Still too much space. What makes it hard is if you go over the top, she is slashing to the rim. Olivia Miles has been hard to stop.
No doubt about that. Ryan Rucco, the Hall of Fame Rebecca Lobo, welcome you back courtside. Meanwhile, for NC State, Rebecca, Elisa Canane been effective when she's gotten the rock.
Yeah, this is an NC State team that has been effective when they gotten touches in the paint, and primarily to Elisa Canane, but they have not gotten enough of them. They are struggling from outside the paint, as you see there, 3 of 19. This is an NC State team on the season, 37% from the three-point line, which ranked 10th in the country. They struggled in the first half.
Let's take a look at our first half stats. They are brought to you by Geico. And you see Miles with those 15 points. Notre Dame, 10 of 13 from the floor in that second quarter. They hit their first 9 shots of the second. NC State fell in the Sweet 16 a season ago to Indiana, who will play UConn in the next game here as Crutchfield gets denied by Dodson. Back in after 2 early fouls in the first half. Citron can't finish. Dodson blows the bunny, and Canane off the rebound.
Dodson should be energized, though, here in the second half because of her limited minutes in the first as a result of foul trouble.
Played just 6 minutes because of that foul trouble. Kayla Jones kicks it out. Here's Brown Turner. Couldn't finish it.
Patience. They need more patience. Go off of 2 feet and finish inside.
Here is Miles. Bouncing away from the hedge. Westbell. Bounce it out. Notre Dame patient with this offensive set. Miles attacks, reverses, and gets it to go! And then gives the MJ shrug afterwards.
Putting the defense in a bind, running the horn set. Defender doesn't know which way she's gonna go, which way she should cheat.
17 for Miles. That 3 drops in for Kayla Jones, and a big one for NC State. (40-33), Notre Dame in front. Good battle there, Canane and Dodson. Dodson able to get to it and lay it in.
And you want to tire out Canane and make her work a little bit more on the defensive end. Dodson can do that. Great job with the post up. Physical play inside.
First bucket of the game for Maya Dodson. Here's Perez attacking, dishing, good movement. Crutchfield, she got it on a 3. In her career, 20 for 32 from 3 in the NCAA tournament.
A little more confidence from the perimeter game right now of NC State.
Six-point game. Notre Dame had a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter of the first meeting between these teams, and then NC State ended up making it a one-point contest, a one-possession contest down the stretch. Brown-Turner around the screen from Canane. Gets it back to her. On the attack, she lays it in. Better rhythm here for NC State on the offensive end. 11 for Canane. She averaged just 8.5 through the first 2 games of this tournament. Averaging 13.5 per game on the season. Westbeld given space, no. Good box out there and a foul called against Citron.
We've talked about how this freshman has tremendous confidence and swag. Tough shot. How does she feel about it?
Give her the shrug. Just talking with her yesterday too, Rebecca. She has such a presence to her for a freshman. Talked about being a leader regardless of age, and you can tell that she already is. Mabry, the hesitation, the attack, and the denial from Kayla Jones.
Anytime a smaller guard goes in the lane and the bigger guard is there, it could be easy pickings.
Here's Miles working behind Westbeld. Miles. Oh, what a dime to Westbeld on the finish. Just a gorgeous pass.
And the big has to stay an extra beat because Miles was pulling and scoring off of that in the first half, and then she reads it perfectly.
44-38, Notre Dame in front of NC State. This Sweet 16 matchup, first of 4 games on our ESPN family of networks in today's Sweet 16 action. Perez with 3 to shoot. Perez shakes Mabry, floats it up and off. Jones nearly had the offensive rebound, but nice job by Mabry to slap it away.
Yeah, just quick active hands.
The shovel for Miles. Miles thought about pulling. Looking for some help now. Miles, another dime. Westbeld, extra feed. Citron will fire. No. Long rebound is going to be flagged down by Crutchfield. Canane. And a whistle. And perhaps, do we have an injured member of NC State? Looked like Kayla Jones might have been banged up. She goes to the bench. We'll see if we have an update from Holly in a moment. Well, moments ago, Kayla Jones, who Wes Moore calls the glue of his team, headed back to the locker room. We'll get an update as soon as we have more. Let's take a look at today's Be Your Own Champion, brought to you by Champion. How about Olivia Miles?
She's been absolutely masterful, and how she's read things on the offensive end of the floor, knowing when to shoot, knowing when to pass, pushing the pace. 4 assists right now, and just as impressively, only 1 turnover. The amount she handles the basketball for Notre Dame to only have 1 miscue so far, it's pretty remarkable.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Olivia Miles is so special, something Niele Ivey recognized immediately. She said, we are catering our entire offense to her. That is spacing the floor, getting her out in transition, letting her make her magic. She said, we have actually become one mind. She is me out there on the floor. We are one. They watch film together. They talk about what shots she can take to be successful and how she can get her other teammates involved. And Niele said she had all of the pressure of being a point guard at Notre Dame on her shoulders. I had all the pressure of being the coach, and we have come together to handle all of that.
Most assists through the first 3 NCAA tournament games since 2000. Some pretty great names on that list. And Miles, number 3 and counting, as Dotson able to finish an 8-point Notre Dame lead. 3rd quarter action here in Bridgeport. Remember, Kayla Jones got hurt in the first round last season for NC State. Was a big missing piece as they then lost to the Sweet 16, and a 3-second violation here against Canane.
And Ryan, we saw it in the last possession when Maya Dotson faced up and drove. This has been a fast-paced game, and this has been a tiring game. Her bounce, again, because of the limited minutes in the first half, might make a difference in the second.
8-2 edge in the paint in this third quarter for Notre Dame. Westbeld separates from Boyd and finishes as Boyd hit the deck. It's a 10-point lead for the Fighting Irish. Abby Westbeld, 9 points, 8 boards.
There's been a real toughness about Notre Dame on both ends of the floor here today.
A 6-0 Notre Dame run. Oh, what a spin. Brown Turner with a beautiful pirouette. Miles dishing it out. Westbeld dumping it a little too far for Dotson, and Notre Dame turns it over as Sam Brunell will check in. Hey, still to come this evening on ESPN. We'll have Tennessee, Louisville, South Dakota, Michigan, but before that we'll have Indiana, UConn here on ESPN. The Women's NCAA Championship Sweet 16 all day long on ESPN in the app. Boyd unable to finish. Brown Turner gets fouled. Canaan a little shaken up, and free throws coming for NC State.
Nice set by NC State to clear the right side of the floor for Boyd. She wasn't able to finish initially, but they run the stagger on the left side to clear room for her to drive. Boyd was efficient in the first half.
It was interesting talking with Wes Moore earlier this season about his team's hunger. After falling in the Sweet 16 a season ago, bringing back their entire starting five, he said when they were getting their ACC tournament championship rings done, they were going to put back-to-back Sweet 16s on the ring. And the leadership of NC State, the player leadership that is, said, no, we want more. As Crutchfield misses a three, they are not satisfied with ending right here and did not want that to be acknowledged on their rings. 1-13 all time in Sweet 16s. NC State has not been to the Elite Eight since 1998 as Miles just whacks that out of bounds with velocity.
NC State's done a really nice job on the offensive glass. 10-0 boards. This was a story in the first meeting. Notre Dame beat them on the offensive glass. NC State's taken care of that. They just haven't been nearly as efficient offensively.
But we have seen where they can go from not hitting shots to hitting them in bunches in a hurry. Nice D from Dotson there. Here comes Notre Dame. Miles the lead. Citron lays it in, plus the foul. Freshman to freshman and a chance for three.
Really good players make the difficult look easy, and that happens here. Olivia Miles coming down. She knows exactly where her teammate is, but she takes the ball to the side of the floor so that Citron has the direct path once she catches the ball to go in for the layup.
Kayla Jones coming back to the bench for NC State. Obviously a good sign for the Wolfpack. Citron, 6 points, 5 rebounds. Niele Ivey has asked Citron to take on more of a scoring role second half of this season. Perez, baseline jumper, won't go. Reina Perez just 1 for 6 from the floor. Miles with some haste. Miles threw it too hot for Dotson and out of bounds.
It was the right read, though. It was the right read and right player to try to deliver it to. Just had too much heat on it.
You know, Rebecca, you're talking about it being the right read, but Olivia Miles coming off the screen also exhausts Alyssa Cunane because she has to make that hard hedge and recover. So when you talk about having legs late, that's going to be a factor.
Yeah, without question. That's a difficult defend for Cunane or any big to try to get out there quickly and recover to your own.
Jada Boyd has looked good in her minutes so far today.
Yeah, she's been really good. Limited minutes in the first half, but she was 2 for 2 from the floor.
Boyd, 6 points now. 8-point game. A trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Prohaska in for Notre Dame. Mabry on the bench at the moment. Miles with 7 to shoot. Miles will fire. No. Rebound Canane. Nice box out there. A chance for NC State to creep a little closer. Here's Perez. I've not seen Diamond Johnson yet in this third. Boyd. And a foul is going to go against Westbeld. That's just the third team foul against Notre Dame.
You mentioned Diamond Johnson not playing yet here, and 2 of 8 in the game, and NC State has been so much more efficient when they've gotten the looks and the touches inside.
Brown Turner out of the double. Good movement here. Crutchfield alone. She got it on the 3. It's a 5-point game. Kai Crutchfield, they call her at this time of year. 2 for 3 from downtown. Notre Dame yet to hit from 3 in this third. Miles giving it up. Brunel lost it. Citron trying to make something of it. She does! Off the window. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Brown Turner with 5. Crutchfield with 2. Crutchfield has to get it off. Can't get it to go. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Olivia Miles and Notre Dame, a 7-point lead after 3. We'll hear from head coach Wes Moore of NC State with Howie when we come back.
Welcome back to Bridgeport, here with NC State coach Wes Moore. And coach, what have you been doing so intentionally since the second half started? Your offense feels different.
Well, I don't know. We've settled for tough shots. We got it again. Notre Dame's doing a great job defensively, but we got to make sure when we penetrate, we're making good decisions. We're reading the D. We got to get Elisa most touches whenever we can because she's being very efficient. But you know, again, just being on the aggressive, being attacking, but make good decisions with it.
How do you get her more post touches?
Well, they're making it difficult on us, but again, got to move her a little bit, move her around. Don't let her just stand in one spot. And then we got to make sure we're ready to feed her because she's not going to be open long. You better hit her quick.
Thank you, coach.
All right, thanks, Holly.
I think NC State's guards need to be better with their ball fakes. Fake and then get it into Canane, because as he said, she's not going to be open long, and there have been multiple times where they're trying to get it in and they can't quite fake the zone and then get it inside to your big girl.
Canane, no field goals last 7 minutes. Paige Becker is getting ready to take on Indiana next here on ESPN. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues next weekend. Final Four special Friday, April 1st at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Then the Final Four Friday at 7 and 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. All access Saturday at 1 on ESPN Plus, and the championship special Sunday at 7 on ESPN. And then the championship game begins at 8 Eastern on ESPN Sunday. All games are on the ESPN networks and ESPN app.
One app, one tap?
That's right. You can figure it out in just one tap. If you're Rebecca, sometimes you need 2 or 3.
I need multiple.
Ryan Rucco, the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, Holly Rowe, and Andrea Carter. Happy to be with you for this Sweet 16 matchup, a trip to the Elite Eight on the line where NC State has not been since 1998. Oh, what a steal from Crutchfield. Like a defensive lineman on an interception. Johnson in for NC State. Brown Turner had a look in the corner, didn't take it, and now nearly throws it away. Still plenty of time for the Wolfpack to operate. Johnson on the attack. Lost it out of bounds to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Brown Turner needed to take that shot. She had the time and space for it because Johnson had the baseline dribble penetration.
And you can see Wes Moore then yelling at Diamond Johnson, be tight with it, talking about the handle after that turnover. Here's Mabry. Citron unable to finish. Canane the board. Elisa Canane with 8 rebounds now. Brown Turner bounces out. Boyd. Step back jumper is good. It's a 5-point game.
Boyd is an elite level talent, and she's a player who can get her own shot off. She will be key here in the fourth for NC State.
Little full court pressure being applied now by NC State, and nearly a steal. Yep, it will be one. Crutchfield comes up with it. One-on-one with Miles. Crutchfield spins it in, plus the foul.
Ryan, earlier this season, we saw NC State with a monumental comeback against Louisville, and it started on the defensive end of the floor. They extended their pressure, they got more active up top, and they got possessions like this, turnovers into scores.
Kai Crutchfield with 3 steals now, 2 at the start of this fourth. She talked to us yesterday about how her entire focus is on the defensive end. How she takes playing defense personally. And it's not a matter of when, but if someone's going to score on her. So far in the fourth, they aren't. Crutchfield has NC State within 2. Fourth quarter action. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Outstanding defense from Kai Crutchfield to begin this fourth quarter. NC State on a 10-2 run going back to the end of the third. They have made this a 2-point game, 8:35 to go in the fourth quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup, Holly.
That Kai Crutchfield feeds on defense. Well, she was watching The Last Dance and learned how Dennis Rodman used to watch rebounds come off the rim, know where to be in position. So she has started watching tape. As we see a nice bucket from Miles, she started watching tape on how defenders' feet are. She said, I can tell the way their feet are, how they're going to come off on a certain play. She is living that, but it's good from The Last Dance and Dennis Rodman. What a great idea.
Also an ESPN production, so we don't mind that. Johnson, hesitation, explosion, rejection, as Dodson was there tracking her.
And a great timeout by Nia Ivey. Her team had a couple of turnovers, needed to settle them down, got the ball into Miles' hands, and Dodson, man, she's got length, she's big. Great job on the block. 3
blocks now for Dodson. Turnover here, Westbell chugging along all the way in for 2. 4 straight out of the timeout has Wes Moore hanging his head for a moment after NC State had just cut it to 2. Johnson, the Rutgers transfer, came to NC State because she wanted to be on a stage like this. In the corner, Brown Turner rims out. Rebound hauled in by Peoples. Here's Miles dashing ahead, dishing. Mabry didn't have the space, and we'll settle it down.
She didn't have the 4 feet from the first quarter.
Miles surveying. Here's Dodson. 6 to shoot. Westbell giving it up, 3 to shoot. Miles gonna have to create. Miles a bomb, no. And the rebound flagged down by Peoples. Another chance here for Notre Dame. Just grazed the rim off the backboard. Miles around the back, scooping it up and off. Dodson is there for the foul.
Notre Dame did a great job taking advantage of Diamond Johnson's small size defensively. 2 offensive rebounds.
You mentioned the activity from Dodson, who played just 6 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. Dodson again with that activity. Notre Dame on a 6-0 run after that timeout from Nia Ivey. Miles giving it up. 7 to shoot. How about Crutchfield? Another steal. Crutchfield all the way in for 2. That's 3 steals in the quarter for Kai Crutchfield, doing everything she can. Crutchfield, Perez, Kayla Jones, Canane all could be playing in their final collegiate game. Miles in and out, was halfway down. Here comes Johnson, zipping into the front court. Finds the trailer, Canane gets fouled. And Elisa Canane will shoot 2 to try and make this a 4-point game.
Kai Crutchfield, the graduate student, doing all she can to have her career continue for one more game. She has been outstanding here, in particular this fourth quarter defensively.
Dodson finally picks up her 3rd foul after picking up 2 in the first quarter. Did not play the entire second. It's interesting the difference when you talk about experience and whether or not this could be the end of the road when it comes to these two teams, Rebecca, because for Notre Dame, the only player whose final game it might be is Maya Dodson, waiting to see if she gets another year of eligibility. For NC State, this is it for 4 of their 5 starters. Brown Turner, the only one who will come back. Pressure from NC State and a steal. Perez, a big 3. Too strong. Canane able to save it. Another chance for the Wolfpack. Down just 4 after 2 Canane free throws. Canane fighting off contact. Couldn't slip it in. Got the whistle. If it's Dodson, it'll be her 4th.
Canane has been a rock. She has been an absolute rock all game long for NC State on the offensive end of the floor.
They'll call it number 2 on Westbeld. And Canane, a 2nd-team All-American a season ago, 1st-team All-ACC this season, and this is big for a big. She's an outstanding free throw shooter. Mom on her feet. Canane hits both again. The projected number 5 pick in this year's WNBA draft has made it a 2-point game. Pressure again from NC State. Here comes Mabry. Miles sees the gap. Citron meets Canane. And NC State able to get back and set.
A 2-man game with Olivia Miles and a big. She makes the right decision.
Miles with 19 points. There is the 2-man game with Westbeld. 1 to shoot. Westbeld, did she get it off? I don't believe she did. A shot clock violation as Notre Dame turns it over. And a timeout. 4:29 to go in the 4th quarter of this Sweet 16 matchup. Emotions high, a lot on the line. And Notre Dame leading by 2. What's at stake? Win a 2-point game with under 5 minutes to go. Well, Notre Dame looking for its first Elite 8 appearance since 2019. NC State would have its first Elite 8 appearance since 1998. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Niele Ivey asked her team to improve their spacing. She gave them several offensive options, but at the end of the timeout, she looked at the team and said, listen, breathe, everyone, take a deep breath right now. She needs this young group to settle down right now and perform, make quick decisions, and run their offense.
Because, of course, Holly, especially the freshmen, they have not been in this moment before for Notre Dame. NC State's players have.
Perez can't hit the jumper. Miles, the get-ahead for Citron, and it was a little too dangerous for that moment. Notre Dame turns it over. Six turnovers in the 4th quarter for Notre Dame. Winner will play the winner of Connecticut and Indiana. That game up next on ESPN. Great feed. Canane couldn't quite handle it. And it's out of bounds to Notre Dame. Still to come today on ESPN, 4 p.m. We have Tennessee, Louisville, 6:30, South Dakota and Michigan. The Women's NCAA Championship Sweet 16 today at 4 and 6:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. 2-point game. Citron being guarded by Brown Turner. Draws 2. Mabry was open in the corner, but no angle for Westbeld to get it there. Here's Miles, 5 to shoot. Miles looking to find some space. Oh, what a find! Westbeld lays it in!
For Miles to have the exact pulse of the clock on that possession. Knew she had time to deliver it.
13 points, 8 rebounds for Westbell, 19 points, 6 assists for Miles. Brown Turner didn't get the roll. Dodson came over, maybe got a little piece.
I think she did.
She already had 3 blocks thus far today. And now Miles calmly walking it across the timeline. Miles trying to work Crutchfield, gets some space, fires, no. Rebound, bounces around, Brown Turner after it, has it. NC State with the ball down 4. Diamond Johnson on the bench right now for NC State. Reina Perez operating the point. Perez zips it out. Canane. Crutchfield, she got it. How clutch is Kai Crutchfield?
That's why they call her what, Rye?
Crutchfield. 2-point game, 14 for Kai Crutchfield. Olivia Miles directing traffic. Here comes Mabry. Under 2 minutes to go. Miles into the lane, cups it up in! No angle too difficult for Olivia Miles. Four-point game again. Crutchfield a 3. No. Rebound. Jones was just left alone. Miles standing there watching Kayla Jones put it back in. 2-point game. 1:15 to go. Miles through the double team and a timeout taken by Niele Ivey. Looked like Miles might have had a lane to the rim. Instead, timeout Notre Dame with 1:13 to go, and the Fighting Irish leading by 2.
Especially for a young player, Olivia Miles has such a great sense of time as she comes in and delivers the dime perfectly. And then Kai Crutchfield coming off the screen. I mean, she has been so impactful on both ends of the floor. Hey, big girl, I'm going to go by it, and I'm going to go by everybody else and score. Wow. What a game for the freshman.
Notre Dame with 1 foul to give. NC State with 4. NC State has the possession arrow. Plenty of timeouts in both teams' arsenal to be able to navigate down the stretch. Remember, Miles did get a cup of coffee with Notre Dame last season when incoming freshmen were allowed to begin their collegiate careers a bit early, but her status is still as a freshman this year, and she has been terrific. 21 points, 6 assists. Here is Mabry. Into Miles. Canane came with the hedge, got back to Dodson. Miles, 2-point game, under a minute to go. A trip to the Elite Eight on the line. Miles, a 3, no good. Box out Canane. NC State a chance to tie or take the lead.
Incredible box out by Elisa Canane, allowing her to get that board.
Perez. Over to Jones. Canane, one-on-one. Canane for the tie. She gets fouled by Dodson. It will be Dodson's 4th, and Canane, an outstanding free throw shooter, will have 2 to try and tie this game.
Elisa Canane has looked like a senior on a mission here all game long.
Mom watching. Canane has the first.
My stomach hurts for her mom's stomach.
Canane has been money at the line. 6 of 6 today. Misses that one. Dodson the rebound. And a timeout taken by Notre Dame as Mom deals with the stress and the drama. Notre Dame's lead is still 1.
That's every mom's reaction.
So Notre Dame with the basketball. Now, Rebecca, this is interesting. When you look at the clock, there's a 5-second difference between the game and shot clock. NC State still has 4 fouls to give. Is that enough of a difference for them to play straight up defense here against Notre Dame trailing by 1?
At least initially for sure, because they've been able to wreak havoc. You've got to give them opportunities here to try to wreak some havoc, at least at first.
NC State has not been to the Elite Eight since 1998. They are 1-13 all time in Sweet 16s. Meanwhile, it's been a real quick turnaround from Notre Dame. After a 10-10 season last year, they're right back on this big stage in year 2 under Neil Ivey. Citron will inbound. Has to get it in. It's off of Westbeld, or is it? They're going to take a look. As Jones was there, they will review who this hit last and whether or not this might be NC State possession.
And of course, the call on the floor, always so important. Call on the floor was Notre Dame ball. Is this going to be clear?
Play is under review.
Clear and conclusive, right?
Karen Priato, Roy Gobay, and William Smith, our officials today. You think about it, Rebecca, it has been a game without many stoppages. And initially called out on Kayla Jones. I'm not sure anything there is going to change the call. Let's see. My guess is that's going to remain as it stands. Rebecca, what do you think?
There's nothing clear and conclusive to overturn it.
It's the right hand of Jones coming through. The left hand of Westbeld on the ball.
After review, play stands, Notre Dame ball.
All right, Rebecca, so Notre Dame keeps possession. They had trouble with the inbound there. Interesting. Now, the shot clock didn't start, but the game clock did there. And now they're going to put the clock back to 34.7, so that's why it was at 35. So 34.7 up from 33.9. Citron, get it in. Westbeld surrounded, able to shake free for a moment, and a foul is called against NC State. And look, Rebecca, to your point about the strategy, they have so many fouls to give here that they can just be extraordinarily aggressive going for a steal, knowing they need to rack up those fouls anyway. Citron dumps it in, knocked out of bounds by Perez. And it's going to stay with Notre Dame. How about your Notre Dame? You have a freshman as your trusted inbounder here. In the backcourt, Miles comes to get it. Nearly had it taken away by Crutchfield. Citron gets it across with Miles. Mabry dancing away. And has it stolen! Perez picks the pocket! Perez for the lead! NC State in front! 64-63 with 14.8 to go in the fourth.
The experience of NC State's guards on the defensive end has been the story here in the fourth quarter. Perez getting the pick. They had patience, didn't go immediately for the fouls because they believe in themselves defensively. Wow, as soon as Mabry turns, Perez is right there.
Notre Dame has not trailed since early in the second quarter, and Wes Moore has seen his team overcome a double-digit deficit. Reina Perez with NC State's 12th steal of the game, and now Notre Dame, Rebecca, uses its final timeout.
And number one, they've got to make sure they can inbound the basketball. They've had a tough time here the last couple of times on the sideline, getting a clean look in. Of course, you would expect them to get the ball to Olivia Miles. I would come up and set a on ball with your big and then let her go to work.
A 13-4 NC State run to take the lead. And remember, NC State still has fouls to give as well. Here is Miles, down one. Miles with 8 seconds left. Miles out of the double. Westbeld for the lead. No! Rebound Perez. Fouled by Notre Dame. 1.5 to go. NC State on the brink.
Notre Dame gets a great look. 2 goes to Miles. Westbeld, a clean look at the basket. Wes Moore feeling it.
And remember, Notre Dame is out of timeouts, so they cannot advance this. Perez hits the first. 2-point game. 1.5 to go in the fourth. Perez hits the second. 3-point game. Just time for a heave. Here's Citron. Does she get it off? She does not. That's it! For the first time since 1998, NC State is Elite 8 bound. Notre Dame 20-10 in the fourth quarter. And no play bigger than this one as we take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance.
Raina Perez just waiting to see if Mabry will turn. She does, and able to pick the pocket and finish the other way. What incredible defense once again in the fourth quarter, and a comeback by NC State.
Unbelievable comeback down the stretch. NC State using defense to get it done as they advance to the Elite Eight, and we send things over to Holly Rowe.
Well, I think NC State knows a little something about survive and advance. You had to survive this. How did your defense change the tone of this game down the stretch, Kai?
I mean, it wasn't even just my defense. You know, we came together as a team. We knew what we had to do, and we executed.
These were clutch moments. You get the steal, you hit the three. How are you able to be so comfortable right then?
I mean, you said it, just being comfortable in this moment. I mean, it's March, my teammates believe in me, my coaches believe in me, my family believes in me, and I know we were able to knock it down.
All along the way, people did not believe in you. They thought you were too small, but you never gave up hope in yourself. Raina, how did you get that steal and that go-ahead basket in that moment?
Defense is all about heart. I mean, I knew we were down, I knew we needed a steal, and I just tried to lock in.
You have to step up. First you get the rebound on this end, then you step up for free throws. How did you be strong in that moment?
I mean, we do pressure free throws all the time. We practice this, and I knew I could do it, and so I'm just so happy I knocked them down.
You got eliminated in this round last year. Why did you refuse to let that happen today?
It's a hump that we had to get over, and I mean, the girls are determined, I'm determined, we made it happen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.